Hi there, welcome back. In today's video, it's a little bit of an unboxing with a make at the end. So showing you these Let's Resin chrome powders. I know you've probably all seen them before. If you're a regular watcher of our videos, we've made some really, truly beautiful things using those. And spoiler alert, I decided not to use those in this video. Also got the Let's Resin mica powders, and we've got these stunningly, stunningly beautiful molds by REDesign by Prima. Look at these are the mica powders. There are so many, and as you can see, the box is just way too big to try and get into shot. So I'm just pulling out a few here so that you can see the kinds of colours, the concentration of colours in these mica powders and so on, and the whole diverse range of colours that you've got there. Let's get onto these molds. Now this little bit's been sped up because I took my time looking at these, and you don't want to spend 10 minutes looking at molds. But these are made by a company called REDesign by Prima. They are really high quality, good quality, flexible silicone molds. They are not shiny molds, so you will get a matte result with the finish, and you can use these for, you know, resin, eco resin, air dry clay. If you're into making chocolates and baking, you could use them for decorations for cakes and chocolates and sweets and all sorts. But obviously if you're going to do that as well, you need to have one set for your crafting and one set for your baking. So here we go. Look, I'm just showing all these, the detail in these, it's amazing. We did have a bit of a splurge. By the way, I should say anything you see in today's video will be linked in the description box below, which will go via our Amazon storefront. So if you click via that link and you purchase, we'll earn maybe a couple of pennies on whatever you order. You won't be charged that. That will be what Amazon will pay us. But I also need to say that we're not sponsored in this video at all. So everything we're showing you are things that we have bought ourselves. Right, so these were the colours I decided to go with on the mica powders. No surprises that there's a gold in there, and this is the mould I'm going to show you for the demonstration purpose. Now this is a time lapse because I took my time doing this, and actually, spoiler alert, I didn't use the black. We've got a beautiful green, we've got an olive goldy green colour, there's black, and there's a real rich gold as well. So as you can see, it's a time lapse, so it looks like I'm going at the speed of light doing this, but I did actually take my time, and all I'm using, although you can't see it there, is just a regular paintbrush to dip in the, it's just dry as well, to dip in the mica powder and then brush into the mould. Once I was happy with that, turned it upside down, tapped it to get rid of the excess, wiped it clean. And then I had some black resin, so I've just made up some regular epoxy resin, 1:1 mixing ratio. This brand is Tea Expert, just brand of choice currently. Added in some Vista black pigment, gave it a good mix, and then carefully poured it into the mould. Had some resin left over. Oh, I spritzed it as well with some isopropyl alcohol. Had some resin left over and thought, I'm going to do this dragonfly in the top one of these other moulds. But I'm only going to use these two colours in this. Now, yeah, I was way too excited, way too enthusiastic, put way too much mica powder. How many times can I say way too much? Mica powder on my brush, and yeah, it's very gold. Very gold, but very beautiful too. But I'm biased because I like a little bit of gold mica. So here we go. This is the olivey, greeny gold colour as well, just on the edges of those wings. Now, yes, what you can do is, once you've finished burnishing in your mica powder into your mould, you can turn it over and tap it out onto a piece of paper, and then gather up all the residual mica powder that's on the paper, or glitter. If you're doing glitter, it would glitter perhaps, and then keep it in a separate little container with a little lid to it, and then you're making your own custom mica powder colours. But yeah, I didn't do that. So turned it upside down, gave it a good little tapping there, as you can see. So the excess powders come out, and then I take a wipe. Now these kind of wipes are the kinds that contractors would use to remove paint. They pick up resin, they clean very, very well, although I haven't done a good job with this. And here I am just using up the leftover mica powder. And I spotted a bit, believe it or not, where all that mica powder hadn't got to. So just went back in there with the brush. Actually, that is not a paintbrush. That is a makeup brush. I bought a set of makeup brushes to use with mica powders, believe it or not. But that, yeah, was a makeup brush. So just carefully pour in your resin into the mould. Just slow and steady. Slow and steady always wins the race. And as you can see, it's picked up some of the mica off the surface of the mould. That's fine. There we go. Don't have to colour your resin in black. You can colour it in using the mica powder that you've used if you wish. I just decided to opt for black. So this is 24 hours later now. They were still a bit soft. I've got the beautiful, I think they're called lilies or bellflowers there. And a couple of bits of the foliage that comes with them, little branches with the leaves. Now this was still bendy. We have had a temperature change in the way of weather over here in the UK. So things are not necessarily curing as quickly as they were when we were having the warmer weather, but never mind. This is me doing the demold. Now, because these molds are a bit thicker than I'm used to, they do take a little bit more effort and care when you're demolding your piece. But look at that. See, so mainly gold, little hints of green, of that green gold there as well. Now they aren't as gold as this in real life. It is the light. I'm doing this all by natural light. So it's, you know, it's going to look more green in certain lights, more gold in others. But look at that. They're beautiful. A little bit of tidy up to do with a little bit of overspill, but that's wafer thin. So that's not going to take much work. So you just snip that off with a little pair of scissors. And as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to push up with the mould. So you're almost pushing the resin, the cured resin up out of the mould. And in the end, after I've released all of it a little bit, I do turn it over and release it from the mould like this instead. Now, if you do it like this, do be careful because some bits of it are still quite delicate. There we go, as you can see. Now, as I said before, they're not shiny moulds. It is a matte finish that you've got there, but they look beautiful. Now, I showed you at the beginning some waxing, some gilding wax and some gilding paint. We are going to use one of those just to accentuate a few things on these pieces. Concentrating now on just doing this beautiful dragonfly. Let's see what this looks like. Beautiful. Very, very gold though, which was what I thought might happen. Again, a little bit of tidy up to do, a little bit of trimming up of overspill, but it's wafer thin, so that's not going to take much work. Do you see what I mean here now about it isn't as gold as you think? A very, very matte surface and finish. If that's what you like, great. If not, there are a couple of things you could do. Now, also, here's a sneak peek of something that I've also done using one of the other moulds, which is beautiful, beautiful foliage. So here we go. I hadn't shown you them at the beginning of the video. My apologies for that. Here we go. So we've got a deco colour pen. We've got some gold gilding paint. And we've got some gilding wax. So I had to think long and hard about what I was going to use. And I thought, you know what? I've not used gilding wax. Let's have a go. So I've got a gloved hand where all you do is you just literally put some on the finger of your gloved hand and you brush over. Now, I believe there's another product called Rub and Buff, which will do a similar or the same sort of thing. So as I said before, bits of this video have been sped up because, you know, you don't need to sit for 3 minutes watching me do this. By the way, if you've joined us today and you're one of our subscribers, hello. Have you joined us in the live chat for the premiere? We tend to do premieres of our videos just in case you want to come along and join us in the live chat and we can have a conversation about what we're doing and what you're watching and if you've got any questions about it, and you can ask us there and then. But by all means, if you don't want to join us in the live chat, you know, because not everybody wants to do that, that's absolutely fine as well. If you've got questions, just drop us a comment and or email us at lottiejasminedesigns@gmail.com and we will respond. There we go. So just rubbed on the gilding wax, let it settle in, and then buffed it off just with a bit of kitchen towel there, or if you've got a microfiber cloth, you could use that too. There we go. As you can see, it's still a little bit bendy, but look at that detail. See, it just gives it a little bit of light. It just highlights it, lightens it up a bit. I did go on and put some more on again because I wasn't happy, and then buffed it off again. So again, another time lapse. Sorry people, there are lots of time lapses in this one. I'm doing the foliage part of the flowers here and just putting it on with my gloved hand on my right hand, and then grabbing the paper towel and just buffing it off again. Almost done. There we go. And I also did the flower. So can you see here, it's just picked up the edges. Now that's beautiful, and for the purpose of this video I left it at that. But I did go back in and actually then also do some more on the flowers, as you can see here. So obviously this is, I've slowed this down a bit so you can see this in a bit more detail. So I'm just going over it again, and then I go over with the paper towel and I just buff it all off again. Now, yes, hands up, the finished pieces that I've done for in this video, I have added to again. I'm sorry, there's no film of it. It is our intention to use these in an up and coming video that you will see at some point. It's an upcycling of a piece of furniture and a fire surround. So don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe and notification or bell or button, and you will see those videos when they become live. I added on some of the gold gilt paint in some of those highlighted areas of the details on these finished pieces here, because it did just need a little something. These will be going on a black background, and that's all the other bits of clues I'm going to give you. But as I said before, thank you if you've joined us today. If you haven't subscribed, it's really easy to do so. Why not hit subscribe button? And we will see you again on Sunday with another video. Take care. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye bye.